Hey, what's up? It's J Lucky Henry. So today's video, we're going to talk about should a landlord do a credit check on new tenants? Get ready. This is J Lucky Henry, Keller Williams agent in the greater Boston area. You won't believe how many people need to get real. REAL, Real Estate Explained, amazingly by Lucky in 90 seconds, give or take. Welcome back. It's J Lucky Henry. So the question is, should a landlord do credit checks on new tenants? So what is a credit? We can know what it is, right? A loose definition here. Credit, your credit score is basically a measure of how good you are, an individual is, at paying back money they borrowed. Renting an apartment doesn't sound like paying back money you borrowed. But let's go a little bit further with it, right? It's paying back money you borrowed, or taking ownership of an asset and then being able to return said asset back over time in broken up payments. Okay, that's basically what your credit score measures, how good you are at doing that. So if you get a credit card, they're basically giving you a certain amount of money and you swipe that card and then you pay off that credit card. If you get a student loan or any type of loan, an equity loan, a mortgage, home loan, right? You get a lump sum of money and then you pay that money back, right? Piece by piece over time. What's interesting to me with the apartment and credit checks is that you're not getting liquid cash. You're inhabiting a space. So with the other examples I gave, you could spend the money elsewhere, right? You get a credit card, you can spend it on a lot of different things, a lot of freedom there. Now with the mortgage, I understand, yes, it's going to the home as well. The bank still owns that home. You don't pay to take that home back. In this case, landlord, you don't pay, you get evicted. Landlord still keeps the property. There is no asset being handed over to the tenant, only the right to use the space, for which technically, upon moving in, they're paying first month, sometimes even last month. So it's not that I don't believe in checking credit scores for tenants. It's just that I believe there are better ways as a landlord to determine if your tenant is going to pay rent or be able to pay rent and pay rent on time. Some of the ways I believe is calling their references, calling their past landlord. Who else would know if they pay rent and they pay it on time better than their last landlord? Make that a required question, right? Make that the standard. Call their last landlord. That should be one of their references. Get other references, character references, right? If you want to know if they have the money, get pay stubs, right? I don't believe in checking someone's bank account for an apartment because I do believe that their bank account's their bank account. But get their pay stubs. Figure out, get them to explain what do they make monthly, and can that cover the apartment? Is that a third of the apartment? Basically, use the same DTI that a mortgage company would use when determining DTI, debt to income ratio. A mortgage company would use when determining that they're going to loan somebody money. Basically, is they're checking how well can they pay it back. You just want to know how well can this person pay it off. So check that. If they're on Section 8 housing, then check the voucher, right? If they're independently wealthy and they say they don't work, right? And they say they don't have any W-2s to give you, tell them, cool, just prove to me you can pay this money over this amount of time, right? If they can show you that they can pay it and you can check where they were living before, to me, those two things are more powerful than checking their credit score, because a 22-year-old who was an authorized user on their parents' credit card since they were 18 has 4 years of strong credit history, good credit score. So you check that and you say, wow, this is great. Meanwhile, they're just out of college, a lot of student debt, and haven't found a job yet, but they're not actually able to afford the apartment. While the person who's on Section 8 actually does have that voucher, is able to pay for it, but their credit score is not as strong for whatever reason. See, which one's actually the better candidate? To me, credit score is a great tool for what it was designed for, determining can people pay back an asset they were given that they were allowed to spend in other places? Can they pay that back over time in periods, right? Boom, 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 in little stipends. But for the apartment, you're not giving them an asset they can use anywhere else besides in your apartment. And what you really want to know is, can they afford it? So figure out, can they afford it? Will they pay it on time? by talking to their past landlord. If they don't have a past landlord, they were probably living at home at that point in time. Talk to the parents. Figure out this person. Will they pay it? Can they afford it? I guess I'm just saying there's easier ways in credit scores, right? With that being said, we check credit scores all the time. This is J. Lucky Henry, and I'm here to keep it real with you. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call or text 978-712-0244 and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more.